Good afternoon. Today we will explore in detail how to build a complete order and production cycle based on Zoho CRM, step-by-step sales and delivery of technological products using the example of an all-terrain vehicle. That is, we will have a small workshop that produces all-terrain vehicles. We'll have an order form where dealers can place their orders, end users, and the complete process of accounting for this all-terrain vehicle in the warehouse and tracking its production in detail and thoroughly and carefully, and delivery throughout the entire chain. For this, we will now look at a small diagram of our process first. I will go through it quickly and then each point separately, that is, each of these squares. We will see how this is implemented using the example of Zoho CRM, starting with the form, that is, the form. There is a form on the website that can be filled out either by the dealer or the end customer. The deal is now formed from this form. We will look at this using an example. Created a form. For the order in this case, this is the order form for the dealer where it is offered to the dealer to do this. With the help of Zoho Forms, there is an application in the Zoho One suite called Zoho Forms where we can easily create a web form and link it seamlessly and efficiently to any module in Zoho CRM. No designer or specialist in web technologies or layout will be required for this. This is all done using drag and drop. We have sketched out such a form. Take a look at our videos. We will explain how this is done in a special video, but this recording is not intended for that. Here we show exactly how to establish a business process in detail using Zoho CRM products. In the first stage, we use Zoho Forms to review the process, specifically the order form. For the dealer places an order on the website and this order is entered into Zoho CRM as a deal. And so our dealer carefully and meticulously selects the specific and detailed modification of the all-terrain vehicle, in this case a pickup, and can choose various different additional options, such as, for example, an LED light heater, an additional battery, and a rear view camera. To simply order the quantity he wants to receive in this configuration, then clicks the button. Next, you are asked to fill in all of your contact details, including email and delivery address. That is, where and in which direction to send it. If it is an international company, then you can choose from. I select a country from the list and click the button to place the order. Here, it is highlighted in red. The fields that are mandatory to fill out can also be configured, so after clicking the button that is also there. The order, which is currently being processed, is displayed in our CRM system Zoho CRM. This deal, which we created in advance it was more convenient to record videos and talk about it, and we filled in the data to save time. Your time is already spent on filling out this beautiful form. Now, we will show you once again what we have selected. The shirt pickup selected the modification of additional equipment, such as various necessary units, and the quantity of other units in Zoho CRM. A deal like this is created, which in some cases can in fact actually be considered as a pre-sale. In this case, we specifically use a deal to track our dealer's order for the all-terrain vehicle, the entire cycle from order to production and delivery to the final consumer. And here we have the process and ultimately to the final consumer. Several stages. The first stage, qualification, why in English, because I am showing an example of Zoho, can work with international companies in various languages with support for over 20 languages and an interface. For each user, it will be in the language they work in, requiring an analysis of the proposal, commercial proposal negotiations and production if required, and then logistics delivery afterwards. The deal is considered completed successfully or unsuccessfully. These stages can be added independently. Any dependencies on your process can be here somewhere. There may be a contract somewhere. An invoice can be issued, meaning these stages can be set up and configured quite easily and efficiently and effectively depending on. In this case, you took the default stages of your business process and added only production and logistics, which are usually absent in the deal as part of Zoho CRM and services and solutions. So it says here in the first place who this is. By the way, this is also actually indeed a customizable part here. It is written who the owner of this is. In this case, the deal was received by the administrator. At what stage the deal probability is and the expected profit, that is the deal amount in total. The total amount, and depending on which specific stage it is at, we assign a particular probability. That is, we understand that if a deal is in the analysis process, the probability of its closure is 20%, and accordingly we calculate the expected profit. This is basically interesting information when we have many deals statistically, and we can forecast the volume of our sales, and accordingly the closing date when this deal should be completed. And so now let's return to our process and see where we are currently in our process right now. And we have filled out. We will now mark the path for the dealer form to make it more visual. We filled out the dealer form completely and we got it in Zoho Forms. We can actually respond that this is in one indeed. Very much so, in fact. To mark what happens in Zoho CRM with one color and what happens outside with another. We have definitely created a deal. Let's highlight it in light blue. And then based on this particular deal, depending on, this means that our product is in stock. That is, whether there are trucks available or if they need to be produced. We create 2 orders on request, meaning we might have 5 trucks, but we do have them. We have 2 all-terrain vehicles, so we are ordering 2. We have 3 in stock and are ordering 3 for production, but that is for us. We need an order for production and an order for shipment for delivery, essentially, basically, and here we are now, in essence. Let's take a look at these 2 orders, and at the same time, we are creating a sales order. This is the specific order that our client made. We divided it into 3 parts because of the order, which the client ordered, and it doesn't matter to him whether we produce these all-terrain vehicles or if we have them available. They are in stock, so they are simply indicated here in a total quantity of 5 pieces, but during production, for us, the internal process that is located here below, it is important to understand what we need. To produce 3 more all-terrain vehicles to fulfill the specified order, by the way, I didn't mention it here. Additionally, communication. But here you can also specify the connection between production orders and sales orders. This too. Optionally, it depends on what process you are using, and how and in what form you need to conduct it. We will make the accounting visual, which means that it is quite possible that your presence will be required. This approach ensures that all financial data is presented in a clear and understandable manner, making it easier for everyone involved to grasp the details and implications. Therefore, attending the sessions might be necessary to fully comprehend the visualized accounting information. Such a connection is not mandatory, meaning that these processes can proceed in parallel without additional requirements. Some without additional connections because there can be many different sequences of events and additional details. It is not an order for sale, it kind of combines information for the client, and so we look at how this works. It looks in the CRM system. In the CRM system we have a deal, as we already mentioned, with the customizable name. The amount is known based on how much the person ordered from our dealer. We also assume that we have prepared the commercial stage. In this case, the offer no longer makes sense since the price for the dealer is already known, and we can immediately and without delay proceed to quickly and efficiently forming our valued client's orders on the left-hand side in the Zoho CRM system. Buttons for quick navigation. That is, the deal is presented to us as a long one, a document where various information that describes it is located. And on the left, there are extremely useful and highly efficient bookmark buttons for navigation, which are also very customizable and adaptable. The order in which it will be more convenient for us to work. Let's start with the first, which is the comment. So here we can write anything, for example, check the availability in stock. We can write this, but usually such things as looking at something if you owe someone something. You address it. This is done using so-called activities, tasks. That is, if you want someone to do something regarding this deal, you need to create a new task for one of your employees. The task is to say to check the warehouse thoroughly and specify exactly who should perform this task. But since you need to do it in detail and carefully, we currently have 1 employee assigned here who is carrying it out, and it is also possible to set a deadline. Remind about this task and created such a task. It appears in your list, that is, in its form. The person you placed your bet on, and the deal precisely marks its status, time, and who should complete it if this task is not done. Now we will see if we go to the list. Deals are currently highlighted in yellow or orange, which means that it should be highlighted and visible. Completed today if the task is marked in green, it definitely means it is a future task. It is still not overdue, and if the task is not completed today, then tomorrow it will become overdue. The red color will immediately indicate that there is a task related to this deal that someone has not completed. This is a visual element for monitoring the fulfillment of agreements, meaning in this way, you can immediately see which deals are in overdue status since we returned here in. We will also show a general list of deals, and there is such an interface, meaning that deals can be viewed in terms of just a sorted list. It can be sorted, for example, by amount. Decreasing or increasing can be sorted in an ascending or descending order by any specific particular or exact given date. Closing a deal, meaning that there are options for sorting and filtering here. But again, you can look separately at our videos on working with Zoho CRM there. This is all described, meaning that you can filter by email status and so on. Let's return to our deal. And so we definitely placed the order. Indeed, our dealer positioned the order. We absolutely have a deal. A comprehensive unifying document of all information regarding the client's order from our dealer in this In the document, you can leave comments as we said. Any information about them is completely allowed. All correspondence, for example, between employees regarding this deal is fully preserved. There is a tab for the history of stages, meaning how it changed and on what date. Yes, we can see that the qualification stage was created on the 28th and then specifically changed to product in production on the 29th, and we can also see how many days each stage took and then collect statistics based on this data. At what stage are we experiencing delays in the deal? For example, how much time it takes overall. The closure of such deals and similar ones will be needed for our analytics in the future. Such a thing as an attachment, that is indeed this section of the deal document allows. We can attach documents from Google Drive, Zoho Work Drive, or upload other files that we might want that relates to this deal. For example, some paper documents. We scanned and attached this in case, for example, if we received an order there, like also, I know that an order came in paper form by mail, and if that happened, we scanned it. We entered all the data, and now we have a deal in electronic form. Plus, we attached a paper version, either some accompanying documents or documents that appear. In the process of working on the specifications, we see some changes to the deal history and continue to observe further. We just opened the tasks. We created a task to check the availability of these items in stock. Regarding the ordered all-terrain vehicles, we now move on to the very crucial and extremely significant part, which is what I showed in the diagram. As you can see in the diagram. Now we will return to them. These are sales orders, meaning this is what our client has ordered. Let's go back to it. In the diagram, this sales order for sale is currently happening in the CRM, which is marked in light blue color, right now. Let's take a look at what this order contains. We can go directly from here to this order in Zoho CRM. That is, what is good about a deal is that it unites. What is good about using a deal is that it brings together completely different documents in the process of working on the application of our dealer for our client. And so we have various different documents and materials. There is a sales order that contains additional information about the client. The status of this order can be the confirmed delivery status, the cancelled orders, the completion date, whether it is preferred or mandatory, and the status and contact details are all included in the report. This comprehensive report ensures that all necessary information regarding the delivery, order status, completion dates, preferences, and contact details is thoroughly covered and easily accessible. That is, essentially, the order is indeed linked to our vendor, more specifically to the vendor client, to our beloved king. Well, like that. Called the company and the relevant and important contexts that are responsible in this company. For this application, we have the accounts module and the contacts module. Accounts refer to counterparties, while contacts refer to individuals. These are our contacts, meaning that each company can have several contacts who are decision makers, not making decisions. And it also shows which deal this order relates to. All the information is immediately visible in front of us, and we can quickly dial a person to call, either add a contact person to the company, or clarify the information here, just like in the deal. There are also linked comments. Tasks can be linked to emails, and I'll talk more about additional transfers later. I will inform you that the upcoming document, which is based on the specific order from our client, will be to generate and create a detailed and comprehensive invoice for the services provided in accordance with the specific requirements and instructions provided by our client, including all necessary details and specifications. It's incredibly easy to just simply press a button to convert and immediately create an order from this. An invoice will be created we can send to our client by email or by other means. This is what an order looks like and where the product is located in the order, which is a reasonable question to ask. Let's check what is in this order. We go into editing and see what is in this order. 5 trucks, 5 all-terrain vehicles at 120,000 each, and the total cost. The terms of delivery description can also be added. Information about the shipping address, that is the billing address. By the way, there is a function to easily copy, for example, the billing information into the shipping address. If it is the same shipping address, this information can be copied to avoid rewriting it manually. With the copy button, we simply return back to the shipping method section. As for all these fields, I am not quite sure. I draw your special attention to the fact that all these fields can be configured in such a quantity, in whatever form you wish. Let's return to our diagram. Here we have the sales order that resulted from. For this sales order, we need to create an invoice in order to issue this invoice to our client. We simply return here and just click convert to easily convert our sales order into an invoice. And then basically, in order to successfully complete our task, And here we are in the invoice module, and we already have an invoice that is exactly the same as the sales order. Why? These two pieces of information may seem the same, but they are duplicated. Why is this separated? An invoice is a document for billing, while a sales order is a document for shipping and payment documents, such as invoices. There can be multiple invoices associated with one sales order, so it is recommended to separate these two entities and keep records separately, meaning that the sales order and orders are managed by the sales department, while the invoices are accounted for example, the finance department or any person responsible for receiving money from the client if these functions. Here, we can also clearly see the complete and detailed information, including what has been ordered and in what exact quantity, and comprehensive details, precisely. The quantity at which the price is set is also important to separate the sales order from the invoice because it has been ordered. There may be one quantity in the sales order, but what is actually paid and delivered to the client is different, so it's better to... The sales order and invoice should be separated, and the invoice specifically indicates which sales order it corresponds to. Here we can see that we can return to our sales order, and look, we have it here. A new invoice has appeared in the sales order under the Invoice tab, meaning that a new invoice has been added to our sales order. We can add another one. We can configure the display. Let's go ahead and request to display the account name at this moment, in order for us to clearly observe the overall grand total amount. Here, the amount is displayed in such a way that we do not lose the connection between our sales order and the billings, ensuring that it is presented in a clear and concise manner and accurately. With invoices with payment obligations, we return to our scheme and so on. The dealer made a sales order, and this sales order was created in the CRM. A deal was formed, and within the deal, a sales order was created. That is, let's use different words. The dealer created an application from which the application was formed. The deal resulted in a sales order for the successful delivery of our all-terrain vehicles to the client based on this and more. After we clarified all the information regarding the sales order, we understood it was accurate. We called the client and informed them that he confirmed that we have indeed generated the invoice, marking it in blue. We sent this invoice to our client as requested. Here we found our invoice, we went to the invoice, and then the document can then be exported to a PDF file, which can be easily shared with others. It can also be sent by email to any recipient or printed out for physical distribution. According to the template that is also customizable, which can be modified to suit various needs and preferences, here we have a template that can be tailored to fit specific requirements. By default, you can add your logos here, and all the information is also available. We can print the invoice in HTML or PDF or send it by email or do both. And third, it can be done easily or set up to be done automatically and efficiently according to the rules. Let's return to our diagram. We have completed the upper part of the process of working with the client. That is, the client submitted an application. We saw it in the CRM, and a sales order was created for us. We need to fulfill it. We clarified and agreed upon it. We issued the invoice to the client and then proceeded according to this. We will carry out the shipping of the invoice, but it seems that we will come to this in order to execute the delivery. We need to carry out internal processes in our company that include production and delivery movement and processes in the warehouse and operations and management and coordination, returning to our CRM, returning to our deal. Now that we have determined what we have in stock, let's take a look at the products. To understand where we know whether we have it in stock or not and what we have in the warehouse, we have this for consideration. Let's take a look at the product module visually here. I set it up to make it clear how many possibilities there are for visualization. Regarding the visualization and quality of information presentation, Zoho is also fully customizable. Here, for example, I displayed the field for the stock balance in the warehouse, meaning how much I clicked and accidentally switched. How many of these all-terrain vehicles do we currently have in stock? We currently have 29 all-terrain vehicles, and 100 can also be presented in a regular table format if necessary, and it is more convenient, for example, and accordingly the fields. Show the fields that we want to see here in this section. The manufacturer field has appeared regarding the deal, as expected, and it is now visible. We're almost done with the external appearance. I just started and didn't finish. It can be presented in this way by stages, that is, at which stage which deals are located. It can be displayed in a regular tabular section, either in a classic form or shown. Since we have created the products, I am now showing you the products. there is such a form. The layout presentation can be fully customized to meet your requirements. It's much more pleasant and fun to work this way. We can see all the information at a glance without having to open the card. And so, in order not to lose our products, we have just carefully reviewed the products module as well, and thoroughly. They are a standard CRM module, so we mark it in blue to indicate that we have reviewed it. We can go into any product to see additional detailed information about it, including exactly how many have been ordered. How much is currently in stock? Who is the supplier? Price can be based on various price lists for. We also create the product code for different vendors. We order everything here in exactly the same way. We can specify exactly where the manufacturer is located, and all fields are customizable to meet the requirements. The processes of our business, just like in any card, have the option to leave comments, to attach some specifications and documents, to add price lists, and accordingly tasks. Therefore, in general, the use of conventional standard modules allows for the resolution of half of the tasks in principle that we face when we want to organize the full cycle from the application to. We return to our scheme regarding the delivery of finished products to the client, and we have considered part of the client. We have completed it, showing that we have simpler products with valuable prices and stock levels in the warehouse, and accordingly, we now need our company's internal process to work. We need to relocate all of the existing products that we currently have to the shipping warehouse and the products that we do not have yet. The order for production has been sent, complete the production cycle, and send it again to the finished goods warehouse and then to the client. Since we do not have such a module in Zoho CRM, we create these modules specifically as a warehouse or as internal movement. I will highlight them separately, and also in the color of red. With some bright or pinkish color, we create these three modules ourselves, which is the beauty of it, in a way that is truly and uniquely crafted by us with care and attention to detail. In Zoho CRM, we do not stop at what we have. We can add these modules. Now I will show them to you. We have created an additional module for the warehouse, and we have created two separate warehouses. Each warehouse has a specific and detailed address, a designated and responsible counterparty, and a supplier if required, as well as a unique, identifiable, and distinguishable name. There are owners, addresses, comments, and it is also possible to add your own fields and tasks that correspond to them. Therefore, the warehouse needs to perform certain tasks. Additionally, as you can see, regarding the warehouse, it is linked to transverse out, meaning this is the shipment of goods from the warehouse, and transfers in are exactly the same. We can ship products from the warehouse for this purpose. We have also created a separate module for it. In this module, it is called transfers. Essentially, this module is responsible for the documents, the movement of goods within the warehouse, meaning we can specify in the document where the goods are coming from and where they are going. The warehouse to which we move the products if no warehouse is specified, meaning only one is indicated. We simply and efficiently ship it from the warehouse to the client, or alternatively, we just enter the stock if not. It is indicated where it came from. We simply add the product to the warehouse, and that's it, so that it can also be linked here, which order this relates to, meaning we can specify that this transfer is associated with a certain order, the client, and with such an internal order if necessary. This is also not mandatory information. But the important thing is to indicate the warehouse transfer. It has been moved, so we can calculate the stock. It specifies which products we are moving, what items we are transferring, and in what quantity, for example, 2 pickups. We are moving an additional 2 units from the New York warehouse to the Kiev production warehouse, and thus we have in total, therefore, a list of documents for all movements across the warehouses is being formed, and based on this information, we manage the warehouse based on stock levels, and we always have up-to-date information about how much is available in the products. How much is in each warehouse, that is, in the product we indicate the total quantity. Approximately. In the detailed and comprehensive warehouse report, we can find out specific and detailed information about which dealer is at which current warehouse. In production, or in the warehouse for shipment, or in transit, how much of each product we have. Well, we won't touch on the topic of reports here, as it is a separate subject that we will cover in another video. But at this moment in time, as a matter of fact, in this particular video, with the help of reports that are built into Zoho CRM and the additional module Zoho Analytics, believe me, it's quite simple for me to create reports. So let's return to our diagram. I want to go into more detail. Let's go over this point. We have created a warehouse where our products are stored a bit more, and we manage the stock levels using transfer documents that show, from which warehouse the product was moved to which one in what quantity. That is, it can be ours. The warehouse can be our dealer's warehouse or the client's warehouse if it is important for us to understand how much. Let's say the all-terrain vehicles are indeed currently with the dealer. We create a dealer warehouse and ship the equipment to him upon sale. We create an internal transfer, which results in a stock balance for the client's warehouse, in order to effectively manage inventory. If he sells something from this warehouse, if he is in our system, how does it work? Then we see that his stock will decrease, and we can, for example, offer him something else to purchase. He had sufficient and ample stock for timely delivery to the end customer, to ensure everything is smooth. So let's return to the beginning. The dealer can also easily and efficiently create a form in the same format for the end customer. There will probably be only one all-terrain vehicle, meaning that there will be no need to specify the quantity here. Just one all-terrain vehicle. And the configuration fundamentally changes the form significantly for the end user. The order request process will come to an end soon, and we still have to thoroughly review and assess all our supply orders and requests to ensure everything is in order. This includes checking the details of each order, verifying quantities, and confirming delivery schedules to make sure that all aspects are properly managed and nothing is overlooked. We currently return to our deal in production. Let's go to our deals right now. And indeed, we have it here. Here is the purchase order, which refers to the supply orders we have. We added a status, meaning what status they are in. They are agreed upon, that is, they have been produced, which means we can add these statuses as many as we want. How much we need according to the workflow, for example. Ordered, approved, draft, produced, in stock. In production, it has been partially completed. We also have the order completion date tracking, a number to track by codes if necessary, and here is your own list of fields, which we can add to configure the delivery service if needed, such as, for example, FedEx. But this is not exactly the case. Yet nevertheless, that is to say, in order to fulfill our main order. For the client, we need to fulfill 2 internal production orders for the supply of this order. Basically, it doesn't differ at all. It looks exactly the same as an order to the client, but there may be additional fields have been added that pertain to our internal production and related internal processes. Of course, the necessity is rarely addressed by anyone. You can indicate some internal price of your own to understand later the calculation of profitability and cost price, but this is already a digression from the topic. So we have 2 orders. Basically, as I said, there isn't much to say about them. They look exactly like that. Also, one order goes into production, while the other goes to the warehouse. Some in production set the specific completion dates for this order, and in the report, we later see exactly when we have. These machines will appear here, and we can also add practically any fields, which is a very important thing. Status, that is, what status this order is in. The right to change statuses is also possible. For example, different employees can have different permissions. Some may only be able to create orders in production. Kindly please check the box that this order was made after the production of a specific unit of product for us. This order needs to have the corresponding documents attached, that is, the specification and the VIN should be indicated, the number of produced goods, in this case machines, and the corresponding documents that accompany them. Thus we will have this information. It will be internal information, the same information that we also provide the client with the order upon delivery, and it will also be attached to the sales order here, and also to the client. As we can see, there is a transfer, meaning that if our produced orders are being moved somewhere, then we add the transfer to which specific warehouse we are exactly sending it, or from which precise warehouse we are taking it. Thus, we have a table where transfers are formed, listing all movements as we return to our. In the table, we reviewed the production order and the supply order for these modules thoroughly, comprehensively, and carefully, are based on the standard purchase order module in our CRM system, and as a result, they are marked. We did not implement the blue module for production as such, since in this case it is not needed. There is no need, but it can also be done if some operations related to production are necessary. This module can be automated in the same way as the shipment module if we want to track logistics, but we haven't created this module yet, so all the information is not available. All documentation related to the movement of cargo can be created in a separate document called shipment. Let's assume the shipment of a batch because we can actually fulfill the order with the client. We can perform several allowed deliveries at once. We have 2 trucks in the warehouse that we can use immediately. We can send 2 all-terrain vehicles right away and wait for the production of 3 others, or the client wants, to have all 5 delivered at once while we wait for production. And according to the shipping process, one shipment consists of 5 cars. So in order to fully incorporate the details into this process, it is absolutely necessary to take all necessary steps in the processes of your company, but overall I have shown you how this scheme is implemented. In Zoho CRM, let's say, first approximation, without any automations, we will go through it. To summarize once again, we have an order form and an application form for our client where they can make their selections. The car is selected with additional equipment, specifies the quantity, fills in their details, and the delivery information is provided and the order is placed. The order enters Zoho CRM as a deal. It appears as a deal and a task for processing this order. Well, here it was conditionally written to take a look at. In the warehouse, after the task has been completed, here are the open and closed activities. Activities, for example, regarding this deal included a call, meaning all closed tasks have been completed. It is also recorded here that we have received an order for sale for our client. 2 orders have been placed. Internal production and efficient and streamlined delivery and reliable and consistent supply of these advanced and highly specialized machines. Moreover, there was a significant and pressing and urgent question regarding how client service works involves the concept of cases, which are the inquiries from our clients. If there are any questions, there is the cases module, and here are all the questions that our client has. This can be done through a web form or by an incoming call. Create a cases related to this deal for any incoming contact, such as emails, phone calls, or messages. Maybe related to a deal with an order, with a shipment, with a delivery, with a transfer, with something. It can be convenient, but this module is standard in Zoho CRM. You can even add it if the client wants to reach out and furthermore communicate with some questions from a client who is already our client and wants to receive qualified assistance. And we want to obtain the history of inquiries to understand the situation. What questions are most frequently addressed? And what should our company improve? We will accordingly add the cases module and mark it in light blue because it is the standard functionality of the CRM, meaning that all of our automation is not standard. There are 3 modules that we added, or rather 2, which are the transfers and warehouses. Let's return to our previous agreement and thoroughly discuss another significant aspect that is absolutely crucial in the overall workflow process. Understanding the importance of this deal and the details of this aspect will help us appreciate the workflow's significance. We need to show the promotional deals related to which specific product here, by the way. Exactly. Getting information now, don't get distracted. It has already been indicated in our deal which products are involved. This deal is processed and immediately shows the quantity in the warehouse, meaning this is the task. Which I said, hypothetically, let's look at the warehouse. And it is not necessary to execute when you have a deal. You have created it, and you can immediately see how much you have in the warehouse. You have this product available in your inventory, and can even see the current status of how much of it has been ordered. At the moment, 20 orders have been placed, 29 are in the warehouse, and the contacts associated with this deal are as follows. Our client, I would like to return to that important function often needed in our workflow. The history of document handling is in demand here. There is a timeline, so to speak, where events are marked. All absolute changes that occurred with this document and who, and most importantly, who it was. It states who made the entry, when it was made, and what specifically changed. One product was added at 2:44. To return to the view, we examine in detail info, which means you can immediately see how the stages changed and who was involved, and thoroughly understand. When I added a comment, it often happens when there are some disputed issues or changes. Information that should not be changed can always help us find out who did it and how to improve. Our process to prevent this from happening again in the deal is shown in the next task, next action, which needs to be completed today. Products, well, such summary information. The deal can be finalized as soon as possible, ideally by the end of the day. Both winning and losing stages can exist. There may be several winning stages, for example. It means that the delivery has been successfully completed, either the deal was made or sold, and it can also be lost. For various reasons, that is, we were unable to produce, we could not deliver, there is no product in the warehouse, the client refused. I bought something from a competitor instead of buying from us, analyzing the reasons for this later. Also allows us to improve the quality of our work with our client and the quality of our product. To view all the tasks that you can access easily and efficiently and manage and monitor, there is a module called Activities, where all our tasks can certainly be in this form. All deals that are like this. All tasks related to the deal are here, including the open deals. Tasks related to clients, tasks for credence, and all other tasks and responsibilities and duties. There is a customizable and user-friendly interface that is quite convenient for work in essence. Allows for the implementation of any process. We have considered it so far without automation. Only the structure, but essentially, when creating from our deal form, it is immediately created. The corresponding task is assigned to the responsible person, and an order for delivery is created. An order can be easily created for the client for sale and immediately for production. And for the transfer to be automatic if our process allows it, or for it to be approved if possible or necessary. Some employee, that is, we can automatically create drafts that a person will then confirm. That is, indeed, they will agree to issue it for work, and then at each stage of the deal, we will be able to track what we have, at which stage of production, what is in production, and what is not. It just came in that is under analysis, how and why the commercial was issued. The proposal is that what is in logistics is at the delivery stage, meaning a complete operational picture. We will be able to see which tasks are overdue right away. The overdue task is clearly marked in red. In some deal, I have shown everything so far without reports, the process of work itself, in addition to having all the necessary information. With this complete information in Zoho CRM, you have the ability to build comprehensive reports. Both operational and analytical functions are available in Zoho CRM, and there is also a special module for this. I won't go into detail about it. I'll just show that it exists and that we can also do something here. Let's build all of the planned events and see what we have currently scheduled right now at this moment. For deals such as, for example, we actually have one invoice report. He has just created it. Report on products and products by category. Category we have 1, 2, all-terrain vehicles at the price. These reports are also customizable, and more complex analytical reports can be created. With the help of Zoho Analytics, when all the information about the company's operations is already in Zoho CRM. It is not very difficult at all. Here we have extremely sophisticated and advanced CRM analytics implemented. We can either use the Zoho Analytics base or create our own reports in Zoho CRM in order to quickly and efficiently monitor and track this relevant information in the context that interests us. Here we see a classic funnel showing the current status and the total amount we have. Deals are also present in these widgets where we can configure what options are available. What are our latest open tasks currently and which deals are closing this month. In this section, we have the ability to monitor and keep track of the most recent updates and modifications made to the documents that are of particular interest to us. So, let us return once again to our previous discussion a bit more. I will show the process once again, step by step. We will fix it securely on the screen, and we will be finishing up. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments under the video, or call us, and we will respond. Record useful and comprehensive videos as you thoroughly and carefully ask your detailed questions about this topic today. Here are our contacts if you need to automate your processes in the company, such as automating only the sales department. But overall, the process of the company from the order to delivery is this. Everything can be easily done with Zoho One, Zoho CRM. Our function is to provide this. We can simply do it quickly and competently, and you can also do it on your own. You can master it by registering for a free version. The free version of Zoho One lasts for 30 days. In general, 30 days of this period is enough to test all the necessary functionality. Wishing you all the best until the next videos and future content. Stay tuned for more.